This is Yarn Over Matter podcast. So happy to have you here. My name is Amy. I'm coming to you from Montreal, Canada. And actually, this may be the last time that I'm filming from this apartment. If you've been here before, you might be aware, but I'm about to embark on a cross-country adventure. I'm moving to Victoria, Canada, which is another island all the way to the west. So I'm really excited. It's coming up close. The packing has started and is in full swing, as you can see over here. And there's lots going on. So this may very well be the last one here. It's a little bittersweet, but I'll be taking you guys along with me on my adventure. I have a ton of things and ideas planned for my West Coast life that's coming up. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to all of that fun stuff. But I guess to start this episode, what you can expect, it's going to be a bit of a melange today because we're going to talk whips. I can't cast anything new on because all my yarn is in those boxes. So I have some wish I could cast on that I'm going to tell you guys about. I've got a pattern that's been living in my brain rent free. So I would like to share that with you because I feel like, share the love. And then finally, because I don't have as much to catch you up on and no new cast-ons, I thought, why not bring you to a local yarn shop? So I've got some footage of that at the very end. And then I thought I'll talk you through some more ideas for this podcast and for this channel at the very end as well. So if that sounds like something you're interested in hearing more of, stick around, grab something nice to drink, something cozy. I've got my well, you can't see it, I think, because it's backwards, but this is my Montreal mug that I'm drinking out of. I've got coffee. It's early in the morning. This is actually Starbucks from, I think, like 2010s. This is their old, I just love this line so much, and I wish I was traveling more when this line was out, because I feel like the new ones are nice, but they're not new. I mean, they've been around probably for around 10 years now, but yeah, the old ones where the cities were just kind of lined out in navy blue were just so beautiful. Anyways, it's very on theme for my last Montreal podcast, so I thought I would drink out of this cup. I hope you're working on something cozy, whatever that may be. And yeah, let's get started. So also, just to note, I will be looking at my notes. I usually do. It might be even more this time. My brain is a little frazzled with everything that's upcoming. So yeah, please bear with me. Also, I've been suffering from some morning insomnia. So I'm just waking up super early, not able to sleep, and with a million things on my mind, as you do when you're about to move across a country. Okay, so anyways, enough with that. I'm gonna start with what I'm wearing today, because this is not something that I've talked about before, but this is the hang on. Yeah, this is the Cabin Lakes Pullover by Kathleen Simpson. She's a Canadian designer, I believe, out in Western Canada. So very fitting as well for this podcast. And yeah, I have a lot to say about this one, actually. So I guess let's just start. So first of all, let me go into the order. So I talked about, so it's from Kathleen Simpson. The next thing is the yarn. So the yarn, I made this in 2021, finished it in 2022. So I don't have the exact colorways, but I do have the company. So this gray, which is kind of like, I don't know if it's coming out necessarily entirely, but there's actually some nice purple undertones, and it is gray, but it's also kind of like a little bit beige. And I'm not a huge gray person, but this color I absolutely love. So, and the the dyer is Emilie Philomène, and that is I think, Quebec yarn dyer. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if they're based where exactly they're based from, but I'm pretty sure it's Quebec. And then these contrast ones are from Liliane Biscotte, which I've talked about, I think, in every single episode so far. I absolutely love them. Great yarn, great product, great customer service. And yeah, I love the colors. Funny enough, this was supposed to be my very first test knit, and I failed miserably because I started and then things at work just changed. We had some people movement. I had to take on a lot of extra tasks, and like it wasn't possible for me to get this knit done within the amount of time. So I had to drop out, and I felt so bad about that I never joined another test knit ever again. You know, maybe it's time to get over that. Maybe I'll, you know, dabble or try to be brave enough to do it again. But I felt so bad because, you know, designers really rely on their test knitters to test out the garment, and yeah, I just felt so bad. But anyways, I'm happy to have this anyways. It's, as you can see, a round yoke construction with color work. And it was really, from what I remember, it was really easy to follow. The instructions were well written. She was also really great in terms of like when I was in the test knit, corresponding, any back and forth, any questions, any modifications or updates required. She was like really engaged with that. So if ever you see her pop up and she's doing a test knit, I would recommend joining if that's something that interests you. And yeah, I mean, it was a pretty big color chart, as you can see. I think there's like I think it goes from there to there, and all the way down. So it's quite a big chart. And yeah, the yarn composition, I'm sorry, I'm bouncing a little bit, but going back to the yarn composition, it's with merino, cashmere, nylon is the base for all three, and it's a sport weight. And so this to me is like my quintessential fall, or a quintessential like fall type garment because of the colors. If you go and you check out our pattern, I'll link it below, or I'll link my Ravelry page below, and you can check out the other ones. But there's a ton of really fun color choices. But for me, when I saw this pattern, I was like, oh, this feels like fall. And actually, funny enough, I have a pair of red jeans that are almost exactly the same. And that's like, to me, as soon as fall hits, that's what I'm wearing. I have a picture. I'll put a picture up so you can see it. You can get the gist. And having said that, though, and you know, this is arguably like a really beautiful sweater. I actually don't reach for it very often. And so there's a few reasons. So first of all, I was like, I didn't know as much then as I do now. Obviously, this was 4 years ago. I've learned a lot of things. One of those things being color work tension. And when you have really big floats here, I was always catching them kind of at the same space, like between every 5 and 6. And so as like you can see it here, right? Like you can see there's some like morphing of the lines. And then also because I didn't go up a needle size, which I should have done, I find it gets tight here on the side edges, and I don't like that. To me, this is like, it's really annoying. And I don't mind it at the top, because at the top it actually provides a lot of structure, and I really like where it hits on my neckline. It's just the bottom, and I've tried a few things. Like I've gone in on the other side and like snipped and then tied knots, but it's still just, it's just a little bit too tight, and it's too bad because the rest of the garment is like really flowy and really comfortable. It's just the top. So I've been pondering for, I don't know, probably almost a year now. What do I do with it? Do I leave it and just like, you know what? I love the outfit. It's cute. I'll wear it when I go outside in the fall, get some cute pictures, and then kind of leave it at that. do I do some type of sweater surgery? Because I still have like half a ball left of each of these colors, and I have almost a full skein left of this color. So my other options would be I could re-knit the yoke. And since then I've learned how to do ladder back jacquard, which is really awesome. It's so cool. If you've never done it before and you've been too afraid to try, this is my PSA. Go ahead and try it, because you think it's complicated, but it's really not. And then it's kind of like magical. Like on the backside, it just looks so cool. And then it makes it so that you don't have this like, it makes it for a more flexible and even color work. So I would highly recommend that. And if I were to knit the yoke again, that's what I would want to do. I would probably not at the top, because again, I do like that structure up here, but as soon as I hit like this area, I would do the ladder back jacquard, especially on the shoulders. So yeah, so that's option 2. Option 1, we leave it as is. Option 2, I re-knit the top and do like major surgery. So I could snip, which sounds terrifying, but like I could snip the arms and then just graft, snip the body, just graft, snip the other arm. The thing about that scares me is that, one, the number count is going to have to be like, the count is going to have to be right on. And like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm one to fudge things. Like my count is usually close to being on. If it's not, I might just like make one somewhere random. I might just knit 2 together somewhere random. So I don't know. I don't know if my count will come out the same as it was before. And like, yeah, that you can fudge, but like, I just wonder if I've gotten to the point where I've got the, and it does, like, I mean, this is sport weight. So like it was, and it's not a memorizable pattern, right? So it did take some time and effort to get to this point. So if I get to that point and then do the snip and then start re-sewing it on, will it work? Will I get discouraged? Or will I procrastinate out of fear and just have like random pieces of sweater just like waiting? I don't know. My last option, and please, I'd love to hear in the comments, like, help, please send help. What do you think? What would you do in my situation? My last option is to frog. As beautiful as this is, if I'm not reaching for it, like I wear it maybe maximum 5 times a year. That's not a lot, right? Like we spend a lot of time, we spend a lot of money and effort into our knits. And yes, those 5 times a year are like great. I don't know. Do I just frog it? And if I frog it, because like these colors could be used in any other color work. I have some other leftovers from other sweaters that could mix really well with this. I could do a variety of other things. Even I was thinking like a Harlow hat from Andrea Mowry with the remainder of what I have today. I would just have even more now with these, with this, whatever's not cut out, whatever bits are still intact from what I've cut under there. But really another option is to knit, and this is something I already bought the pattern. I've had this design in mind for a really long time. It's called the Catch My Heart by Joji Locatelli. I'll put a picture up. And this is a really beautiful, classy garment that I could see myself wearing to work. You know, it kind of gives a little bit of a blazer vibe because of the folds in the front and the way that it wraps around. And it also has really beautiful cabling on the back. So to me, it looks really elegant. It looks really professional. And I would see that out of this yarn. I think it would look beautiful. But then that would require that I rip all of this out. I don't know. I'm going to make the Catch My Heart anyways, eventually. It's just a question, is it going to be out of this yarn or is it going to be out of a different yarn? So I would love to hear your thoughts on that, because yeah, I have time. I'm not doing this, probably not even this year, but it's something that I've been toying with. Do I keep it or do I frog it? Oh, yeah. So anyways, that's the whole story about this. Did I miss anything? I put some... No, I got it all. Got all my notes. Great. Okay, so let's move into whips. I have made some progress on all of the things that I was working on last time. So this first one is the Homeland headband by Sanii Pauliina. Again, all of these projects that I'm talking about are going to be linked below. And I've been pretty good with my Ravelry, mainly because of this podcast, with including what needle size, what size I'm making. I also include the yarn. So please go ahead and take a look if that's something that you're interested in. Anyways, as a reminder, this is what we are working with here. It is so pretty. I really love this cable design. You can see I put a stitch marker here. That's where I was last time. So since then I've knit all the way up. They have you do a provisional cast on, because the construction on this is really interesting. So you do your provisional cast on, you do all of your cable rows, which took a long time. I'm doing this, the pattern calls for 3mm needles. I didn't get gauge with that, so I had to go down to 2.75. Yeah, 2.75. Because the 3mm was too long. So yeah, I went down a needle size, and this is, I'm pretty sure I'm getting gauge. In terms of modification, so she has you do 3 of these repeats. I only did 2 so far because I feel like the circumference of my head falls like within the norm. Usually I think it's like 56 centimeters. So, and usually in patterns you see, like some of the hat patterns I see, they're like between 55 and 57 centimeters. You do this size. So like I'm right in the middle of there, but I also feel like my top of head to ear is like shorter. I don't know what the average measurements for that is, but I always feel like I've got the hats, I need to shorten them a little bit. I don't know if you needed to know that, but anyways, all that to say, I thought that if I went for another repeat, it would be too long and it would look weird. So essentially for the pattern, you do the cable section, and then this is the inner liner piece where you're going to presumably fold it over, finish knitting back here, and then join it to the provisional cast on to have kind of like a tube. And so when I was playing around with it, I thought that this was going to be enough to kind of cover my ears. This is kind of what it's gonna look. I think it's fine. I think it's fine like this. Yeah, that'll be totally fine. Anything, yeah, see, like if you imagine, if I had a third other one, it would be going up to here, and then there would be some like gapping between the band and my head. Anyways, I hope that makes sense. I did warn that I was a little all over the place today. So anyways, yeah, so I'm really looking forward to having this item, especially like in Victoria, the weather is completely different than Montreal. I don't even think they got snow this year. I don't even know that it went down into the minuses there. Whereas here we've been in the snow since November. So I need to rethink some of my garments and some of my outerwear. And I think that this is like a happy medium. And also on top of this, I didn't talk about it yet, but I'm knitting this with Knitting for Olive. And it's the Knitting for Olive. The colorway is Buttercup for both. And it's one strand of their soft silk mohair. And the other strand is actually, and I did figure this out, I was talking about this last time, but I did figure it out, it is the cotton merino. So that's another way that you can kind of or I'm thinking to like cool down some of my garments. I'm not stopping to make, like, I predominantly make sweaters and hats, although I will be venturing into the sock game, hopefully. But yeah, if I don't want all of my sweaters to be excessively warm for the climate over there, you know, something that I can do or I've been thinking about doing is thinking more about the composition of the fibers. So yeah, I'm looking to see how this wears. I'm looking to see how warm it is. And also, like, I have no idea what I'm going to do for buttons yet, but I think, so the way that it's going to work, it's once it's folded, it's going to be folded up and then folded kind of like this. And then here she's going to have us, or the pattern has you make a little, kind of like a little tab, and then you'll have your buttons, and it's just super cute. I'll put a picture up if I haven't already to show you what that'll look like. So yeah, I think that it's gonna be fun. Maybe wooden buttons would look nice, like what's the color? Like walnut, like a walnut wooden button of some sort would be cute, or something a little fancy. I don't know. I'll show you my options when I get there. So yeah, I think that was it for this one. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, highly recommend this pattern. I would probably knit this one again. And also from Sanii, she has, and I think I talked about this in the past. First of all, she has a podcast. Go check her out. Secondly, she studied in fashion. So she has like a really good eye for detail, especially like I haven't made any of her garments yet, but I want to. There's a lot of cables. She has like a very cohesive aesthetic that I'm really into. And I like that she does a lot of stuff in like black and like dark green and gray. And like, we don't see that as often in like cabled garments. And I really like that she has that like dark academia vibe to her aesthetic. Anyways, she's got also a lot of like another headband that I really, really want to knit as well. So yeah, you can expect to see more of her patterns from me in the future. Okay, I think that's enough of that, because clearly I could just go on forever. Next, okay, so next I have my Trescao pullover, or is it a sweater? I think it's a pullover, and this is from Avec Anna. She is another lovely designer, and last time I had finished and bound off here at the bottom. As a reminder, this is a raglan, obviously, or maybe not obviously if you're new to knitting, but this is what we call a raglan construction. What I like about this is that it's really, you don't see it too often. So you, instead of casting on with ribbing, you cast on with garter stitch, as you can see here, and all the detailing or all the finishings are in garter stitch as well. So at the bottom, you can see there's some garter stitch as well. This is a free pattern. I would highly recommend you go favorite it, add it to your library and knit it. It's been such a great knitting experience. Her pattern writing is so clear. As long as you follow it, and I'll talk about that in a second because I did make a mistake. And yeah, this has been knitting up like a dream. I have, since last time, cast on my sleeve. I haven't done too much, just because, I don't know, I needed to wind up another ball, and I wanted to try it on, and I feel like once I had the cords on, I just haven't, yeah. But I mean, I still did, actually, okay, so I'm saying I didn't do a lot, but I still did about however many inches that is, maybe, I don't know, this long. I made this much progress. So what I also really like is that it has these little eye hole details, and I showed it in my last episode, but she really took the time to go size by size, and you show like whatever size you're making will have every single line and every single increase line with the instructions for your size, which like to me is incredible, because that means that she's really paying attention into the fit of each and every individual size. Also, there's like an insane amount of sizes for this. I think there's like 15 sizes. So you can really go up by increment, by smaller increments. And, you know, for me, I cast it on for 2 sizes smaller so that the neckline would be a little bit more close, because on some of the Ravelry pages, I noticed that it was a little bit wider, and while that's beautiful, that's not what I wanted for, like, that wasn't what I was looking for in this specific garment for myself. So anyways, you can take a look and see for yourself if you'd like. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention, because yes, although it is easy to follow, you still need to read. Most of the rows will say like, okay, yarn over, your increases are done through yarn overs all the way around. But there's some lines that have you do make ones on the rounds. And I just saw make one and I assumed that it was on every single one, but that was incorrect. So just double check, reread, don't assume. I fall into that trap all the time, so that's fine. Anyways, what happened because of that is that I had the correct number of stitches on the body, but my arm stitches, I have like 12 too many, which is a really large number. But anyways, so how I fixed that is that when I'm picking up for my, and this is a dark color and it's kind of dark, so I don't even know if you'll be able to see it very well. Oh yeah, I think you can see. So when I usually pick up, I typically cast on more than is called for, and then I'll do a couple of rounds of bind offs to close any holes. Here we can see there's holes, but these are because of the yarn overs. But when you get to the underneath the arm, it's really seamless. And that's how I like to do mine. And so what I did is I casted on just the number that the pattern calls for. And then I did 2 rounds of cast off. So that's 2, so that's 4. I'm already down 4 of those too many stitches. And then the pattern has, and I can talk about these details again because it's a free pattern, but the pattern has you're supposed to wait like 3 centimeters before starting your decreases. I didn't. I went into the decrease rate. The pattern has you go by centimeters. I just chose a number based on like past experience and past patterns and just kind of what felt right. Also, like I feel like every 5 rows is sort of, it's like close-ish to a centimeter. So I'm decreasing every 5 rows. So that's what I've decided to do, and I'll see where that gets me. I've been trying it on. If I haven't put a picture in yet, I will now, of what that looks like. I'm really happy. It's oversized, but it's also cropped, which is what my intention was for this, because I'd like to wear it over. I have a high-waisted green skirt that I'd like to wear it over. I think it would be super cute. And also those jeans that I wear with these are pretty high-waisted, and I think it would look good together. So yeah, I guess that's what I had to say about the Trescao pattern. Again, highly recommend. Okay, and so the reason why, oh wait, you know what? I didn't even talk about the yarn, so I'm so sorry. This yarn combo is phenomenal. It is the Pearl Soho linen quill, and I'm holding it with Sonder yarn Halo, and the colorway is Rocket, and for the Pearl Soho linen quill, the colorway is dark denim, and I feel like that's very fitting. This really does look like dark denim. If you know, for tariffs or whatever reasons are not able to access like American yarns, Sonder yarn also has a very comparable base. It's called their Fleece and Flax. I've used it before. I can highly recommend it. I can highly recommend almost everything from Sonder. They're excellent color-wise and composition-wise and customer service-wise and everything. They're really great. So yeah, so if that's the case, but if you're in the US or somewhere else where it is accessible, I do highly recommend Linen Quill. I think a lot of podcasters have talked about it. It is an excellent yarn. I look forward to buying more in the future and working with it more in the future as well. And so, yeah, I mean, the cakes are huge. Like, look at this. I had to stop because my winder didn't have enough space. Hang on. Do I have it? Anyways, I have this plus another tiny little one from one, what's it called? Skein. From one skein. Yeah, okay, now for real, I'm done. And so, okay, so that's not so much progress, but it's a little progress. Same for the headband, but what has really been capturing my time and focus and excitement is my porcelain sweater, because we have a neck hole. I'm obsessed with this, guys. Like, oh my God, I can't even tell you. First of all, the colors, they're coming out so good. I can't wait. The color combination, I can't say is entirely from me. I was scrolling on Instagram and I've never really been able to find it again, but I did see somebody have a white one with, I think it was like light green variegated. And then that led me to think about the new Tynn yarn that I wanted to use for this. So the white, and I'm gonna link this below because I never get the names right, but I think it's Arvid is the white, and the green is Livgevaden. It's in Swedish, so I'm sorry. In my mind, I see that word and I translate it to living green because that's what it kind of feels like. I have no idea if that's correct or not. But yeah, this is what has been taking up my time. If you remember last time, I had literally just cast on the back neck. And so I guess I can talk a little bit more about the construction. Actually, before that, because I don't want to hop all over the place. I had started on the yarn, so let's finish with that. So the what I'm going to call living green is the light green. I'm holding that, at first I wasn't holding it. I thought it was thick enough on its own, but then I changed my mind. So the back panel, which is this part, is being held single with nothing else. But as I introduce the colors on this side, I'm actually holding it with, this is from Camarose. It's their Minna Sol, and the color is lime. And like these colors just, you would have seen me do this again, but these colors just, they look so perfect together. So do the whites. They're just perfect. The white is from Sonder. It's Halo base again. And the colorway is Ibu, which translates to owl, which I think is also fitting. So yeah, last time I had just barely casted it on. This is a porcelain sweater by Lynette. Again, sorry, I'm all over the place. It's been viral for a long time. I find like for like viral patterns, I don't know why I do this, but I tend to resist for a really long time. I'm like, oh, everybody's doing it. But then look at me now. I'm making my own 2 years later or something. Anyways, whatever. So you cast on, and the construction is really interesting to me. And like, maybe I'm not super experienced when it comes to like drop shoulder construction. So I have 2 cardigans, which are different from like just a regular pullover anyways, and just one other garment, which is my Colette pullover that has by Nordland, that has a drop shoulder. So I'm still learning. As I understand, there's like many different ways to do things, and so it's been really interesting. There are short rows, but they're also like adding rows through like casting on through backwards loop. So it's like pretty interesting. It went by pretty quickly. The instructions are great. If you haven't done it already, if you haven't made one, you know, I'm seeing the hype. Like I get it. It's like really, the pattern is really addicting. And I think it's coming out really well. And I love, like, there's like that nice halo. And on top of it, I don't want to brag, but I kind of do. Look at my pickup. It's like mostly pretty clean. And on this side too. I think this side is even cleaner, and there's like a bit of a bulge there, but that'll block out. Looks so good. So yeah, so I've just started the color work on the front. This is what it's actually gonna be like. And I can't wait to have it. Was there anything else that I wanted to add for this one? I don't think so. It's been pretty interesting. I said that I started the back holding the Nutiden single. And that's because the first ball of Nutiden that I was using for the white felt a lot thinner than the second one that I've tapped into. And I'm not sure if you can actually, maybe you can't. Okay, you can't actually tell. But yeah, so yeah, well, whatever. It is a little bit thinner on the back panel. Well, you can kind of see here, it's a little bit more holy than here. It seems a little bit more full. So at first I was like, oh, wow, well, like the green one feels thicker than the white. So I'll just hold it single without the Midna Sol from Camrose. But now as I've switched to, I guess, a thicker yarn, I needed the green to kind of catch up and be just as thick. So that's why I've added it in now. And I feel like it's not going to make a big enough difference on the back anyways. It's the top panel. I'm not going back and reknitting it. I think it's fine as is. And also I'm like a little bit concerned that so I have 300 grams of the white, and I'm a little bit concerned that I'm going to be running out. So I emailed Nutiden because I saw that they still have that one online. And just, if you've never ordered from them, they're a Swedish yarn making and dyeing company. They go under the name of Honor. Oh, I'm just going to link it below. I can't say that. I'm sorry. I don't want to butcher it. But they've got, like, I'm a patron of theirs. They've got a great story, great company ethos, and really good customer service. So I emailed to ask, you know, like, I think I'm going to be running out of this yarn. I'd like to make a purchase, but I'm moving. Are you able to, like, can I make the purchase, but then can you hold off and wait like 3 weeks before shipping it to me to my new address? Because it takes about, like, it can vary, right? Because it's international shipping. Like, I've had it in as quick as like 2-3 weeks before. And then there was another time where it accidentally got sent. Like, the address was correct, but somehow my package ended up in California. So I had to go back to Sweden and then come to me. So that took like almost 4 months. Not their fault. They were super helpful in trying to locate it, and we all had a laugh about it. But anyways, all that to say is I emailed them asking if it would be possible for them to hold it, and she was like, yeah, that's no problem. Once you make your once you make your purchase, just send me a quick email. I'll make sure that it's held, and then you can tell me when you want me to ship it. So I'm gonna do that, because this line that they have out currently has some, like, it's like a pinky red, like on the more on the fuchsia, like dark fuchsia is how, or like maybe it's more of a cherry red. Anyways, there's some colors out now that I think would look really good in a Christmas sweater. And I've never thought to make one before, but oh, I forget her name. Lily, I believe, from Curatorial Knits. She created the Compass Color sweater and designed the original version using Nutiden. And then she did kind of like an upgrade at Christmas to the chart to make it like Christmas themed. So I think I really want to do that for this year. So when I make my order, I'm gonna put in some more of those colors and maybe have a Christmas sweater. I think that'd be fun. So that was very long-winded, but hopefully I won't be playing yarn chicken because I'll be able to get my hands on some extra yarn. And yeah, my spring, what I'm calling my spring porcelain sweater. I can't wait to have it. I can't wait to have it and to wear it all over BC. And yeah, and since I don't have any new cast-ons, I thought that I would share what I wish I was casting on. So I often go through phases where I'll have like a pattern stuck in my mind and that's all I can think about. And one of those patterns has been the Morzart pullover by Caitlin Hunter. I think that the idea of combining cables and lace isn't new, I love the way that it's done and executed in the sweater. And when I was looking at like the specs and everything, I noticed, okay, it's a worsted weight. Yes, there's holes. My mind is already focusing towards spring, towards, you know, those brighter colors. And so I had what might be a brilliant idea is when I make this, I think once I move to BC after the move and I get settled in as a little like present to myself, I think I'm gonna buy the yarn. And so what I was thinking, again, kind of like I spoke earlier about, you know, switching or like exploring different yarn content, I would like to do this out of Sadnes Guarn Line, because, well, Line and Tynn Line. So the Line is the DK weight, and then the Tynn Line is the fingering weight. And so because it's a worsted weight, if I get one of each and hold them together, I think that would work. And I think that would be nice, a nice summer knit to have around. Good for the cooler evenings, but not too hot. So that's what I'm thinking. And then color-wise, so Sadnes Guarn has this color Matcha on quite a few of their lines of yarn, or like their types. And I've been super drawn to it. I think it's quite popular right now anyways, but that color of green, it's kind of like, well, it's not dissimilar to this. It's just a little bit more darker undertone, I would say. I don't know. I'll put the color up. But what I was thinking, again, thinking about theme, thinking about being out in BC and like the ocean and the trees and the forests and everything. It's like, oh, I wonder if I can like bring some of that into the garment. And so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold two colors together and make it marled. So I would like to hold the Matcha color, which is the green, as the thicker thread. And then I want to hold the Tynn Line, so the fingering thread, as like a nice blue. And I think marled together in that pattern would be just so fun to have. So anyways, I've put up the colors. I hope you can envision it with me. Let me know if you think that would work. Like, would that look cool? Would it be nice? Or is it going to be too busy because of the marled and the cables and the lace? I think it'll work. My other option would be just to do it all in the matcha color, which would also be beautiful. But yeah, I don't know. I've just been thinking about that a lot lately. And so yeah, that was my little vicarious knitting plan. And then lastly, I think I will leave you shortly with some footage of the local yarn shop. It's called Espace Tricot. They're in a part of town called NDG, and they've relocated to just another location in that same part of town. It's a great store, and so I wanted to take a look and see what was available, or like what did it look like, because I'm going to be leaving. That's not going to be my local yarn shop. I thought I could show you guys as well because it's new. And what I was looking for also, because I actually did need something, even though I'm not buying yarn at the moment until I move. I've been looking for the perfect stitch marker because I have one perfect stitch marker, and I don't know if you guys are the same, but like this is the one that that is like, to me, perfect. It's a random one. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how I got it, but it's like my favorite one. It works really well in terms of like size. And because it's metal, it slips really easily. I don't like using the light bulb ones in the middle of a row. So if I'm doing, for example, if I'm doing color work, because I have a hard time paying attention and counting sometimes, I put like a stitch marker in between each of the repeats to help me, so that if I make a mistake, come to the end of that repeat, I'm just going back that repeat. I'm not going back the entire length. And it's easier for me to find where my mistake isn't corrected. So the time it takes to move over the stitch, to me, is worth the investment versus potentially making a mistake and not wanting to go back, or having to go frog back a full row. So yeah, so I've been on a quest for this stitch, like multiples of this guy that I just showed you. And so I thought I would pop into Espace and see what they have, because while I didn't find the silver ones, I did previously find this little one. If you can see, it's from Coco Knits. It's tiny, but it's just as good as that metal one that I have. And that's what I was looking for. I have some that are plastic. I find they're too thick. And they don't slide as easily. So these guys I'd ordered online, and I was like, you know what, maybe they'll have the size up, because this is the smallest size. They're called the mini ones. And they only go up to a needle size 4. But if I'm knitting more than a needle with a needle size 4, I needed something else, right? And so there's so many things that I've tried. Like I found this on, I guess you can see it fine. Oh, okay, right there. I found this on Amazon, and I thought it was going to be the perfect thing, but it's not. And you can see like the difference, right? It's way bigger, it's thinner. It's also got an edge, which this one doesn't. So this one's easier to like slide on your needle. I know this is like really detailed. I don't know. Do you guys spend this much time thinking about your knits? Because maybe I'm just weird. I don't know. Anyways, all that to say, at Espace, they did have the next size up of the Coco Knits, which is the one, the small colored ring here. They have these ones. So I was like, okay, perfect. Let me get these, and it'll work a little bit better with my size 4 needles, but I don't love them. Because these ones, well, they're perfectly, like, I don't know. These ones feel a little bit more flat, kind of like the other one that I got from Amazon, and they're a little bit too big. So anyways, I'm looking for, like the Goldilocks of stitch markers. If you have any recommendations for, I guess, boring metal ones that are perfectly round, that are not too thick, please let me know. I would be very grateful. Anyways, all that to say, just because the stitch markers weren't what I was hoping for, it doesn't mean I didn't have a great time at that shop. So I'll put some footage in. It's my first time vlogging, so be gentle. I haven't even relooked at it yet either. I'm going to put it together, and I'm realizing that this is going to be quite long, so I'll log off shortly. But just on the subject of vlogging, it is something, like, I really enjoy watching vlogs, so it's something that I really want to improve on, to be able to like contribute to that content online. And I have a lot of fun of ideas in BC. I'd like to take you guys with me on some hikes, and show you the scenes. So I guess I'll leave it with that, and some of that footage that I've been talking about. Hopefully it's good. And yeah, if you're still here, thanks for sticking around. It's a bit of a long one today. Feel free to leave a comment, feel free to subscribe. If you want to see more and follow along my journey with this move and all the future content that I have in store for you guys. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Have a great one.